Hello, Tiger Nation, and welcome again to Keeping Your Eyes on the Tigers. The Tigers won the game over Prairie. They won 77-49. I can't say that it was an exciting game, but it was okay. After coming off of that drastic loss that we had to Wichita State, and then the loss to Christian Brothers, is, I guess we've gotten spoiled for the last couple of seasons in the past. We haven't had no dynamic seasons, but we have had seasons that we have gotten spoiled at. But anyway, the Tigers had a pretty good game. They shot 50% from the field last night, and also they shot 33%, which is about average for them from the three-point range. One thing that I'm liking this year is their free throw shooting is a little bit better than it was last year. I mean, they shot 75% from the free throw line last night. But we got one major problem that we have still got to work on, and that is turnovers. Turnovers is really killing us, and a lot of our turnovers are really coming from just stupid mistakes. But last night was a whole lot better than the Wichita State game. We had 24 turnovers in the Wichita State game, and we only had 16 last night. But that's 15 2-minute turnovers. I just be straight up. That's 15 2-minute turnovers. But the defense last night held Prairie to only shooting 34%, which was good. But then on the other hand, I'm still looking at two of Prairie's great, not great, but their best players were out with the flu last night. So that's one of the things that I was looking at, how much better would the game had been if those two players had been in there. But anyway, one of the things that, that I'm looking at about this team this season, they seem to be liking something, and it's something that Coach Pashner always used to talk about last year was chemistry. I even looked up, some of the definitions of chemistry. It says interacting between people working together, specifically such interreactions when harmoniously are effective. One of the things that I'm looking at with this team here is they seem to be liking chemistry. It's something like, when you fix that certain dish that you love to eat, and you be eating it, and when you taste it, you say, something is missing. I can't put my finger on it right now, but something is missing. So, I don't know if the Tigers are liking, they ain't got enough salt or they ain't got enough pepper on them, but they're liking something in the chemistry this year. As I said last week, we got 4 players out of the 10, well, they said 10 new faces that's on there. I really haven't counted how many are on there. But we got 4 players that had playing time last year. The rest of these boys, even the ones that we got a couple of JUCO players that maybe had some playing time. But the ones that had the chemistry from last year, we only have 4 players, and that was Shaq, Iverson, Nichols, and King. And out of those, those three played quite a lot. Iverson didn't get that much playing time, but the chemistry, the camaraderie-ness that should be there, something is missing. I saw them last night. I was looking at them when somebody was down on the floor. They got knocked down or something. The chemistry of going over to just pick up their partner, something was missing, and I don't know, like the announcers were saying last night, it's early in the season, this is this is really their second official game, but Thursday, I forgot to look, but they're playing Thursday. I think they're playing Bradley or Bailey won. But anyway, we got to come on with the come on. I look at the majority of these fellows. They played this summer when they went to Canada, and they played as a team up there. As a matter of fact, they played, to me, a little bit better up there than they're playing right now. So I don't know what's wrong with the chemistry in this team, but I still say something is missing. But overall, the Tigers, like I said, they did pretty good yesterday. They shot 50% from the field, and they held Prairie to only shooting 34%. 33% from 3-point range. We had some fellows there that was really trying to hit some 3-pointers. They look good, but as I say, right now it's a lot that they're not they're not gelling right. 75% from the free throw line. I liked it that was that means that there's always room for improvement. So if you are doing that well, then you'll do better on in the season when you get into those pressure games. You'll start hitting free throws when you really need to hit them. But Coach tried to look at, I believe, he really was just looking at a lot of the new players because he didn't have Shaq and Nicholas playing together. As a matter of fact, he had Shaq coming off the bench. Shaq finished up the game. Well, on average, everybody really got a chance to play about 20 minutes. That's a half, Burroughs was the only one that played the majority of the game, I guess you could say. Burroughs had, he played for about 28 minutes, but Shaq had 16 points and 6 boards. Crawford, he had 9 points and 2 assists. And Burroughs had 9 points and 9 boards. I like when you get a man that's on the boards that much. Nicholas, as I said, only played, he played sparingly last night. Nicholas only had 7 points and 3 boards. He only played for about 16 minutes. I did see him icing his knee down, so maybe he was having a little trouble out of his knee. We got a young man, Avery Woodson. Woodson had 8 points, but I like Woodson's his intestinal fortitude, I guess I can say, his guts. At least he is really trying. Nick King played for 20 minutes. He had 6 points and 8 boards. And the new fella, Godfrey had 7 points and he had 7 boards. So when you got fellas that are coming on and they're getting on the boards, and if you can get 7 boards tonight, you can get 10 boards the next night. But overall, you know, the Tigers, they're coming on. Maybe they need to sprinkle a little bit more salt in the pudding. Or else they need to add, no, we don't want no sugar in the pudding. But anyway, you know, hopefully they will, well, they got to, in order to have a good season, they got to come on with the come on, and they need to come together. But as I said, this is a little small tournament that they're in, and I believe, like I said, they are playing Bailey or Bradley this Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. But, you know, make sure you keep your eyes on the Tigers. Bye now.